Hey guys, it's Sherill here for another edition of Sherill Talks Africa. Now, I wanted to come here to do you a special video so that you can get your journey started, because you know what? We've been talking about, Ghana and returning and visiting and more. So let me just get to the nitty-gritty and get you started. Best times to traveling. I'm going to look at the vaccinations. I'm going to speak to you about flights. I'm going to speak to you about visa process and more. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share, and just enjoy and go back and watch some of the other videos as well. Okay, so today's video, I'm going to start with, if you're thinking of going to Ghana particularly, when is it that you want to go? So the best time usually to travel to Ghana is around October to March time, okay? And the reason I say that is because sometimes outside of these time frames, it can be really, really rainy and a rainy season. You can travel anytime. However, these are deemed to be, some of the best times to go. As I say, it's up to you when you go, but just a little bit of, a hint and a tip for you all. And so you need to really consider, which time of the year. And what I'd say to you as well is, get a calendar out and start to map out, how long you want to go for, and even ask who you want to go with and so forth. Now me, I'm just different. I'm not waiting on anyone. I just went on my own with my two kids, and I wasn't even phased because I love traveling. For those who are not aware, actually, I used to want to be a travel agent, right? When I was younger, I studied travel and tourism, and I used to want to be an air hostess, but I was too short. But that's another story in itself. Anyway, okay, so the vaccinations as well, to go to Ghana, they do say you need to have a yellow fever vaccination. Now, when I was preparing to go with myself and my children, I thought we'd had it previously because we've travelled to a lot of places, and some countries do, stipulate that you have to have certain vaccinations, and I do vaccinate my children. Some people don't vaccinate their children or themselves, by that matter, and what I'd say, if that's the case with yourself, you need to consult your doctor, because some people they get letters and so forth to allow them to be exempt. So disclaimer, I'm not saying that you'd be able to get into the country without the vaccination, but do your own due diligence on that. But going back to the people that are going to be taking the vaccination, I would say to yourself, plan it out quite some time before, because at my own doctors at the time before the pandemic, they said to us all, oh, we've got travel clinics and you can book in at any time and so forth, and we'll be able to get you in. They says to me, I'd have to pay for myself and my son, and my daughter, they'd be able to do that for her. That's what they were saying to me at that time. However, then I got a call back, and then the nurses and the receptionist advised me that I'd have to pay for everybody for those vaccinations. I said, okay. However, the next situation I had was they didn't have any spaces in the travel clinic for some time, and we needed to get them sorted and that. Luckily for me, there were some cancellations, and then I was able to go in with my son on one appointment, and my daughter, because she's got such a busy stage school schedule, had to go on a different day. Actually, she had hers before we had ours. Okay, so anyway, also what I'd say as well is to check your other immunisations, because when we were there, I'm not trying to be funny, I think the lady was being a little bit judgmental, not a little bit, a lot, because she was saying to us, oh, when you go, are you going to be staying in the village, are you going to be staying with family, or are you just staying at a hotel? And I says to her, oh, well, majority would probably be at hotels or accommodation. I might not be venturing out into the village. And then she just looked at me, and then she said, oh, okay then. You know what, I think you should have rabies as well, and potentially you should have hepatitis B as well. And I thought, is this woman having a laugh? I said, oh, is that because you think we're going to be going to the village? I don't know if she thinks I'm going to be doing all sorts of stuff in the village and making judgments about myself and my son. But I said to her, just a question, hepatitis B, I'm sure I might have had that for work previously, because I used to work in the community, doing my social work, and in the community with drugs and substance misuse individuals. And they said, oh, you know what, let me just give it you anyway. That's what she was saying. In relation to my son's vaccination, she didn't have all the information for him, but she wanted to revaccinate him for things where he might have had in school. And you have to be really careful, because these people will vaccinate you for things double times. So I said to her, listen, if you haven't got the information there on the screen, call school health and they'll be able to find out for you. And she says to me, oh, I haven't got time to be ringing that team up. You can do that yourself, and I'll just give it him. And then she was asking him, what arm, do you remember what arm you had it with when you were in school? Now think, this was going to be years ago. How is he going to remember what arm he had his injections in all those years ago? But anyway, long story short, I was very adamant that the lady needed to double check before she vaccinated him again. And when she double checked, he'd already had the vaccinations, which she wanted to re-vaccinate him with. So what I'm saying is be very, very careful, especially with the vaccinations. However, in Ghana, you do have to have that certificate, and they give you a little card with your information of the batch number and the dates. And the lady did say to me, disclaimer again, that it's for lifetime. I wouldn't have to do it again, but different people say different things. But she was telling us and the people at the reception that we needed to have it at least 10 days before we went and so forth for it to be able to work. I'm not a medic. I would say check it out. But at the moment, because a lot of the doctors' surgeries are not giving out the the vaccinations, what I would say to you, because of the virus, what I would say to you is call your local chemist. Now, where I live in Birmingham, I know that there's a travel clinic at Boots in the Birmingham city centre, and they've told me that they are actually providing these vaccinations. I actually paid around £75 for ours, but they are actually doing it, I think, a bit cheaper, which is quite good. Also, as well, when you're getting ready for your trip, not everybody does it either. You get your medication for your malaria tablets and things like that. So, not everybody does take malaria tablets. And if you are returning fully, I've been advised that you're not able to take the malaria tablets for long periods of time, okay? But I would say, look at the options. There's ones where you can take them daily, and there's other ones that you can take once a week and so forth. So look into that. As I say, some people don't take that. They're into natural remedies and so forth. But I just wanted to say, okay, if you're getting prepared, you need to make sure you're doing everything. So, as I'm saying, you need to know when you want to go. Okay, you want to look into your vaccinations. You want to consider if you're going to be taking malaria tablets, because different tablets cost a different price and so forth. Now, for me, there's a particular one that I went for, but the chemist, she's a lovely lady by where I live. She gave me the alternative, and it didn't cost as much as the other brand, but it's got the same ingredients in. So do your due diligence there, and look at the different options, and look at the side effects and things, and work with what goes with you and what your beliefs are. Okay. So then. So when you want to go. About your vaccinations. Now, your flights. When I'm looking for my flights, I go onto an app. It is an app called Hopper. Go onto there, and basically you can actually download it onto your phone. It's really, really good. And what you can actually do is it actually allows you to watch the flights, see what flights are the best price, and you can even reserve your tickets and so forth at that price. I've never personally booked through that app, but I do watch the prices on there. I also use Skyscanner as well, and I also go to the local airlines as well and see what they're offering. I do have connections with travel agencies that I've used in the past as well, so they've booked my flights as well for me as well. There's so many avenues. In relation to going to Ghana and so forth, now you can either opt for a direct flight, which myself prefer, which I travelled with British Airways, so if you're interested in that, you can get a flight out of London, okay, directly to Accra. All right. You could also get Ethiopian Airlines. It's not direct, but you do one stop to Ethiopia and then into Ghana. You can go on Egyptian Airlines. You can go on Air Portugal. They do a lot of good prices as well. You can go on Emirates. You can go on Brussels Air. You can go on Turkish Air. You can go on so many different airlines. So you've got so many variety. There's a new one at the moment as well, isn't there? Qatar Airways. Think about tapping into that. you know that it's going to be always glitz and glamour there and so forth, okay? In relation to your visas now, when you're going to Ghana, you do have to have a visa. Now, when I went with my children, you know, what I'm going to say is I do have a child that is under 18. So for her, what I had to do is, she's actually Canadian. Well, she's an African Caribbean, African young lady, but born in Canada, okay? So there's a little bit it's a bit different for hers because she's got like 2 birth certificates, so you have to get all the documents together for a little child, okay? And with the children, what I'm going to say to you, if they are under 18, you need to actually get, depending on you know, your arrangements and so forth, you have to get the parents to sign to say that they're allowed to go. So for instance, their dad wasn't coming with me, so he had to sign to say that my daughter was able to go on the visa and so forth. You know, I do have a friend that is not with her partner and so forth, and the person isn't in the children's life, so she spoke to the High Commission and so forth, and they actually stated that, you know, it was fine, so he didn't have to sign, and they allowed that visa to go through. You know, that was some years back and so forth, but I'm just mentioning that point because there could be other people who are watching the video might be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get my partner, my spouse or my ex to actually sign this form and so forth, okay? So that's just something to be mindful for when you're thinking about young people going with children and so forth. Also, as I said, for my daughter, and for, you know, I was asked to provide her birth certificate. Okay, there is, as I say, different visas. You can have a travel visa, you can have visas for business, volunteering visas, visas for a variety of things. Okay, so make sure you select the correct category that you're going to be there for. Okay, so in relation back, as I'm saying, in relation to visas, this was before the lockdown, before the pandemic. Okay, you were able to go in person to actually apply for the visa, and that's what I did, because at that time, I'm just going to say it how it was, I didn't want to put my passport into the post. At the time, it was £60 if you did applied for a visa in the post. That's per person. It didn't matter what the age group is, okay? And then if you wanted it fast tracked, so myself, I wanted to have it, I opted for like the 3-day return. So you go in, you take all your paperwork and so forth down, and then you could get it back in 3 days. So that was £100 per person. Now, if you wanted it back within 24 hours, then there was a higher surplus and so forth as well, and that there was an option for that as well. All right. So as I mentioned as well, in relation to my son, because he's older as well, I went down and I took all of our visas together. My son is over 18, so he could give me permission to collect his visa. So he had to sign a piece of paper as well and give me permission that I was able to get his visa on his behalf and so forth. Okay. As I say, at that time, you were allowed to book an appointment online, so you could register for online. You can book your appointment, but what I'm going to say, before you can even get your visa, you have to have a ticket number, because it asks you for the ticket number. Now, also, when you're getting your visa for Ghana as well, what you need to be mindful of is you've got to either have a reservation or an invitation from somebody who is Ghanaian to say that, you know, they're inviting you to Ghana. All right. So what I'm going to say, if you haven't got somebody that's Ghanaian that's going to invite you to come and stay with them, you can go over to you know, Airbnb, you can go over to booking.com, you could speak to, you know, local people in forums that might have accommodation and bed and breakfast, and, you know, you can book there and you can copy your reservation information and attach that to your paperwork as well, and that's accepted. They do also ask you, you know, how much money you're going to be taking with you, where you're going to be staying, how long you've been there, the last time you went to Ghana. There's lots of different questions that's asked, but it is a simple process. You just need to follow the process. So go over to the Ghana High Commission in the UK and you can get all the information there. But what I'm going to say as well is right, is that at the moment, because of the pandemic, you're not able to get a visa in person anymore. You have to send your passport off. So and there isn't any fast track. They say it's up to 15 days. When I did my new one, it came back within a week. It really did. But what I can say as well is you can select to have one-time entry visas or multiple entry visas as well. I was actually told that if you've been once, you needed to do it. First of all, you needed to do the one entry, and then you can do the multiple entry. However, other people I know didn't do that. They just did the multiple from the get-go, and that was acceptable. Now, I knew I was going to go back loads and loads of times, but I was just going by what the advice I was given and so forth. All right. So that was that. So that was so this time, as I said, in the post, it came back quite quickly as well. But disclaimer, with this virus, you don't know how long it's going to take. So I would say to you all, apply early and so forth as well. But what I'm going to say to you all is I encourage you to take a trip to Ghana. As I said, just go back through my video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share this video, because I'm really, really, really passionate about the British diaspora and the diaspora as a whole, going back to the motherland and visiting, investing, and just actually returning, because there's so much going on the continent, and people need to know. Anyway, I hope you find this video useful. Feel free to as I say, share, like, and go back to my other videos as well. That would be a blessing as well. And thank you for watching my video. Take care and have a blessed day. Bye.